Right, so today we're diving deep into Surah Al-Maaida,
Okay.
5th chapter of the Quran. It's called the Table Spread.
Right.
And it gets that name from the story of the miraculous feast
Yes.
for Jesus' disciples.
Yeah.
Now, this surah
Yeah.
is one of the last ones revealed in Medina.
Okay.
So it kind of gives us this really mature, comprehensive view
Mm-hmm.
of some key Islamic principles. And
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
goal is to really pull out the most impactful insights for you from this text.
So what's really interesting about Al-Maidah is that most of it was revealed
Okay.
after the Treaty of Hudaybiyah.
Hmm.
And that was around 6 or 7 years after the Hijrah.
Okay.
So that's the Prophet Muhammad's migration from Mecca to Medina.
Right.
And, this period, it was a time of relative peace.
Okay.
Which was so important for really, solidifying Islamic law.
Got it.
And expanding its reach.
Okay.
So, these verses, they really reflect the practical side of governance and community interactions in a more established setting.
Right.
So it kind of gives you a new perspective on navigating agreements and ethical conduct when things are a little bit more high stakes.
Like when the pressure's on.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if we think about some of the core ideas here,
Right.
this surah, it really does finalize Islamic law and belief and how the community should be run.
Yeah.
There's a huge emphasis right from the beginning on keeping your word,
Absolutely.
fulfilling all sorts of obligations.
Yes.
We also see the dietary rules laid out,
Right.
halal and haram, and the guidelines for purity and worship, like Wudu, for example.
Yes.
And this thread of justice and fairness.
Runs through the whole thing.
It runs through it all.
Absolutely. And, if we think about the broader context, the surah also deals with interactions with the people of the book. So the Jews and Christians, which was a big part of life in Medina at the time. And there are strong warnings against extremism.
Urging believers to stay on a balanced path.
So it's not just about laying down the law.
No, not at all.
It's about guiding people towards a good way of life.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I noticed it includes the story of Cain and Abel.
Right.
Which is really powerful.
Powerful story.
When you think about the sanctity of life.
Yes.
And there's that phrase, "O you who have believed," 16 times.
16 times.
It's like a direct call to action for the reader.
You can't miss it.
Yeah, to really pay attention.
Right.
And the way it's structured, too.
Yes.
It's like legal rulings mixed with these historical stories.
It's a beautiful blend.
Yeah, so it's giving us practical guidance, but also these timeless moral lessons.
Absolutely. And that first verse,
yes.
"O believers, honor your obligations."
It's powerful.
It's like a headline for the whole thing.
Yeah, it sets the tone for everything that comes after it.
It does, and it's not just about religious rituals.
It's about the integrity of your commitments in all areas of life.
Like being a trustworthy person.
Exactly. You build a foundation of trust with that.
Yeah, and it ties in so well with that strong ethical framework.
Absolutely. Like verse 5.8.
Yeah.
The call to be just even towards those you might dislike.
Even when it's hard.
Even when it's hard. That's real ethical conduct.
And then 5.32.
Yes.
It says killing one person unjustly.
Right.
Is like killing all of humanity.
It's a powerful statement.
It really emphasizes the value of every single life.
And it's not just individual actions.
Right.
Verse 5.2 encourages believers to cooperate with one another in goodness and righteousness.
So it's about community, too.
Exactly. Supporting each other in doing the right thing.
Working together.
That's it.
And there are social guidelines, too.
Of course.
Like in verse 5.5.
Yeah.
It talks about the permissibility of eating the food of Jews and Christians and marrying their chaste women.
Right.
And it's interesting because it's like laying out a framework for peaceful coexistence.
Absolutely.
With other faiths.
And it's this balance between fostering those positive relationships and firmly addressing practices that are harmful.
So like setting boundaries.
Exactly. Like verses 5.9091
Yeah.
very clearly prohibit intoxicants and gambling.
And that's because of the potential harm.
Right. It can disrupt individual well-being and also social harmony.
So it's not just a moral thing, it's a practical thing.
It addressed real issues they were facing.
Right. And then when it comes to worship,
yes,
Surah Al-Maidah gives us very clear steps for wudu.
Right. The ritual washing before prayer.
Yes, in verse 5.6.
It even provides an alternative tayammum when water isn't available.
So it's practical, too.
It emphasizes purification, but also makes it easy.
Accessible.
Yes, accessible.
And that connects to the dietary laws, too.
It does. It's all about purity and wholesomeness.
Yeah, it's not just arbitrary rules.
No, it's about contributing to physical and spiritual health.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. And the surah also touches on pilgrimage, highlighting the sanctity of holy sites and the specific guidelines for pilgrims.
So there's a lot of practical guidance here.
A lot of practical guidance.
Yeah, and in terms of faith,
yes.
verse 5.3 is a big one.
A landmark verse.
Today, I have perfected your religion for you and have approved for you Islam as religion.
That's it. That's the completion of the core tenets of Islam.
Right. And then he keeps reminding us to be mindful of Allah, God consciousness at the center of everything.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because the surah also draws lessons from the past, particularly the children of Israel. Their covenant with God, their disobedience, rejection of prophets, even altering their scriptures.
It's a warning.
It's a powerful warning to stay true to the commitments.
And learn from those past mistakes.
Exactly.
So to sum it all up,
yes.
Surah Al-Maaida, it emphasizes fulfilling obligations. It provides ethical guidelines focused on justice and the sanctity of life.
Right.
It establishes social responsibilities around things like diet and marriage.
Avoiding harmful things.
Right. It details the practicalities of worship and purity.
Yes.
It declares the finality of Islam as a faith.
It does.
And it draws these vital lessons from history.
All in one surah.
So much in there.
And this brings us to a really important point for you.
Okay.
Think about how comprehensive this guidance is, how it emphasizes both your individual morality and your responsibility to your community.
The holistic thing.
It creates a framework for a really meaningful life.
And like the idea of fulfilling your obligations.
Yes.
It applies to everything.
To every single aspect of your life.
Your relationships, your work, your interactions in society.
It's about the big picture.
Wow, so much to think about.
It's a powerful surah.
Yeah, thank you so much for breaking that down for us.
You're welcome.
It's been a really insightful deep dive.
I'm glad.
Into Surah Al-Maaida.
Me too.
Really appreciate your expertise.
Anytime.
And for everyone listening.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
See you next time.